See if my dog wants to make an appearance for this intro. Sorry for the squeaking. All right, come. You gotta come up. Good girl. Let's see it together. Climbing video. Climbing video. Number 9. All right, here we go. Let's get rowdy, folks. All right, so this V6 here starts you out on 2 pinches. You kind of lock off on the right one to be able to go up to these crimps. I bumped off this crimp because it wasn't as good as the second one. I then kind of flip my hand to like an upside down pinch, or like more like a thumb press, to be able to get the foot swap. And then you kind of sort your feet out again and go up to these 2 holds. I thought this one was pretty good as a pinch. Don't know if that's what the setters intended, but it felt pretty good. And then a really neat transfer of your weight at the top to get it underneath that last hold, which was pretty in cut, but still, yeah, that kind of getting your body weight underneath the hold was, I thought, pretty important on that one. Unfortunately, you can't see the beginning of this climb. You will be able to in the next clip. But yeah, I think this beta here, where I get the high right foot on that left starting handhold before going with my left foot out to that foothold that it's on now, I think that was the intended beta there. But it was definitely the stronger beta. And I mean, the beginning of this boulder is just so powerful because all these holds are flat. And so saving as much energy as you could on this one was pretty vital, which is why here I choose to use a bit of a lower percentage beta by cutting my feet there. But this just allowed me to save much more energy for this move here, where it's kind of like a dead point up to this. Again, it's another pretty flat hold. And I haven't gotten this climb yet. I don't think I'll be able to, because I think it's probably going to be reset pretty soon. And as I'll talk about a little bit later, I've recently injured myself. So yeah, it'll be gone by the next time I'm at the gym. But I had a lot of fun on this one, even though I didn't send it. Some pretty cool movement. And you can see here I'm getting, not really getting anywhere. But yeah, some fun. I didn't really get to fully project that one, but yeah, it was a fun climb, even though I didn't send. Don't really have much to say about this one. Kind of a crunchy start where you're like really boxed in. And then, yeah, just some pretty good pinches, which I have mentioned before, but I typically like these pinches. Any like medium-sized pinch I generally find pretty good. And yeah, some reachy moves towards the top. I don't really care for that boulder. Didn't love it. I realized kind of recently that I haven't been including much slab on the channel, and that's primarily because I don't really climb that much slab. But I'm really trying to get into it more because yeah, I want to kind of work on my weakness. This move I thought was really neat, the kind of step down and then you catch with your right hand. Both the beginning and end to this boulder are relatively straightforward, which is why I gave it a V4. It was really just that middle move that was kind of low percentage. Yeah, cool stand up towards the end, but again, pretty easy as far as slabs go. But yeah, I'm trying to fill that void on my channel of a lack of slab videos. So there's another one at the end as well. So yeah. So this climb here will kind of be the focus or the focal point, I guess, of this video. I think this is probably my first V8. Again, Altitude doesn't use V grades directly on their problems, but the blue tape grade that they use is from V7 to V9. And compared to all the other blue tapes that I've done, this was significantly harder than any other one that I've sent. So I am quite happy giving this one a V8. And yeah, even in terms of like what other people at the gym were giving it, I checked on Kaya, which I've discussed before, but it's an app where you can like log your sends, and share beta with other climbers. And out of 4 other sends on Kaya, this one has 2 V8s and 2 V7s. So I'm pretty happy giving this a V8. And yeah, just super stoked to be able to get this one. But I have quite a few videos of it. This is my second session on it. You can see I'm kind of, the beginning of this one's cut off as well, unfortunately. But that was the first time that I was really able to come in with the left hand to that second crimp. And you can see how happy I was about it. I actually had to learn how to full crimp for this problem, because before this I was basically open crimping everything. And really, to be able to come in and get that left hand on the other crimp, you had to close your crimp on the right. And that was the first time that I actually was able to make a move towards the end. And yeah, even though I kind of just was a little disappointed, you could see that I still had a smile on my face. And that was the first time I was able to get my hand over. And again, it's a bit of a mix of emotions, devastation, but also excitement. And I think people who climb, or people in anything really, there's always kind of that mixed feeling of like, when you get so far on something and you're right there, it's definitely disappointing, but you can also, visualize the progress that you're making. And on this boulder in particular, I feel like I really noticed that. And it's really also kind of cool to see how something as simple as like fixing the way that you're crimping, seeing how that can make such a huge difference. And I just wanted to include this clip here, because sometimes the wall tells you when your session's done, and it was absolutely screaming at me here. These 2 attempts, I can't even hit that throw there to the side pull crimp. So, third session here, this was definitely the worst out of all the sessions that I projected this climb. I kind of knew going in that this wasn't going to be a great session. I wasn't feeling great in my warm-up. And yeah, I mean, you're going to get that in anything. So it's just a bit of an off day. But I thought this was also important to include because, you're going to see kind of some frustration, some bad climbing at the top here, adjusting on those crimps, and you can see I'm pretty upset at myself for it, both like physically and mentally. It definitely hurt to readjust on those crimps, and just some poor decision making. I think this is my last one of this session. Oh, I remember this one. Oh, this is brutal. The foot slip. And I mean, despite how that session was feeling, that attempt was pretty close. I think if it weren't for the foot slip, obviously I can't say for sure, but I feel like I had a pretty good chance of sticking the last hold. I think I generated pretty well. Couldn't quite get it to go on session 3. So moving on to session 4 now. Nasty dry fire right there. That actually put me in quite a bit of pain, so I had to take a bit of a break, go try some other boulders, and then came back to it. Fingers were feeling a little better. You can see I'm getting even closer. Still, I mean, there's still a level of frustration, but I think I knew deep down that I was going to take this one down this session, and I did, and you're going to see that right here. So I guess I'll just kind of walk through the boulder as I go through here. 2 crimps up to this pretty flat hold. You hit a throw out to the left. On this attempt, surprisingly, I stuck it with only 2 fingers, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get it after that, but I moved through the middle section fast enough and then go huge towards the top. And I'm actually able to hang on to the right crimp as I'm grabbing the top hold, which I think is a big reason why I was able to send it. And whether it was a V8 or not, that's probably one of the most satisfying climbs that I've ever projected and completed. Some interesting sequencing on this V7 here. Couple fun like Gastons, and then some interesting like come-in moves on side pulls. And a guy was climbing with recommended this high heel that I have up here because it made all of the top moves a lot easier. It really allowed you to kind of get your hips into the wall. And my ring finger actually slipped off that last hold. I went up as kind of a 3-finger drag and it slipped, so I was really holding on by 2 fingers, and you could hear a pretty loud power scream. So that one felt pretty cool. Yeah. Interesting dyno on this one. You're coming off of 2 underclings. The hold you go to is basically a bucket. Like it's the best jug that you're ever gonna see. But sinking into that that foothold there was really the crux for me, at least. The top section was pretty straightforward once you hit this this foot here. But yeah, really getting your hips down and sticking your foot out. It was so precise, and So I thought that was maybe a bit of a soft blue tape, but that move in particular was quite tricky. Speaking of dynos, I got another one here. My first couple attempts, actually my first 6 attempts, I think. I go with the left hand and kind of try and foot stab with my right to cancel the barn door. And it just doesn't really work because of how your momentum's coming across. The kind of one hand grab doesn't work. You can see I'm trying to just figure out how this move feels. I also had the thought that it could have been a paddle, where you kind of go to that next one super quick. I never actually tried that beta. I still wonder if maybe that's what they intended. But then I watched a video of a friend of mine who sent it by just going with 2 hands to the first hold, and he was able to stick it. So figured I'd give it a go. That'll be, I think, in a couple attempts. You can see I'm getting relatively close with one hand. I think this might be my last attempt going with one hand here, and it's pretty close. Like I look like I basically stop on the hold, but yeah, I think this is where I go with 2. Yeah, after watching my friend's video, the first try I get it. So that was definitely the beta for me. And thanks Wency if you're watching this. But yeah, I don't know. Don't really care for this climb. It's basically a one mover. The last hold's a crimp, but it's pretty good. So it's really just that kind of one move there. This one, I basically got it. I think I got it in 1 session. So I don't really have much to say about it. I think I probably got it maybe in 5 attempts. But a very, very cool move in the middle that I kind of want to highlight. This beginning move's cool where you kind of bring that left foot in to get the weight over to the left. And then a high foot and a big lock off on the left crimp. And then it's this move here that I was talking about. So check out this toe catch that I do. There's no hold there, but I find dragging my toe just on the wall, so it's almost like a toe hook smear, just gave me just enough kind of pull into the wall to be able to stick that next crimp, and then a top with like quite a few Gastons. Actually, there were like probably 3 or 4 Gastons throughout that climb. But the holds at the top were pretty good, even though they were these like kind of slopey side pulls. But yeah, that one was pretty sweet. So this one here is another incomplete climb. Probably give it a V8 as well. It's really hard once you get that heel up on that pretty slopey hold. It's really tricky to see the feet underneath this triangular volume. And so, yeah, I would say the top section of this climb is significantly harder than the beginning. But here you can see I'm really trying to find it. and eventually I get that toe on, which definitely helps. But it's still, you're really just fighting to compress on these really like slopey volumes. Um, and so yeah, I haven't sent this one. Probably won't get to, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought the sequencing throughout I guess throughout the whole climb was pretty cool. Because it kind of forces you into these really tricky positions where you're just pulling from every limb, and trying to compress as much as possible. Um, and yeah, some very like stretched out moves, which I like quite a bit. And the heel felt decent at the beginning, and then once you pivot onto it, it gets significantly worse. I'm wondering if I almost have to turn it into like a toe or something. But this is the farthest I get, and then yeah, just slip off the wall. So here's the next slab one I was talking about. I seem to always have problems on this specific wall at Gatineau. You can see just how much rubber there is on this macro here that I'm stepping on with my left foot. Like it's so hard to get any friction out of that. And this stand up for me was the crux. And it's just so delicate coming in with your right foot, because you really have to find the sweet spot on this hold. And then big dynamic move towards the end, which was pretty cool. It doesn't look, I mean, on the wall it definitely feels farther than it looks on camera, but that one was, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Speaking of dynamic movement, check out this kind of throw to the left. I found that landing on the middle of the two holds, or sorry, the middle of the three holds there was the best one to prevent the barn door. And then, yeah, as you kind of tell, pretty cool back flag behind, again, to cancel the any momentum that you had going left. This last move was also really far, and yeah, definitely not a great feeling move at the end. I didn't love that move in particular, but the first move for me was enough to get a video and include it in this episode. I love this move. If there's by any chance a route setter from altitude watching this, please set more Rose moves like this. They feel so cool. Yeah, I have another one on my channel. It's a pink holds D, probably like 2 or 3 videos before this one. Yeah, I just love how they feel. So this is actually, I was talking earlier about how I got injured. This isn't the climb that I got injured on, but it is the gym. This is at block 9.81 in Gatineau. It was actually my first time climbing here. I went with a buddy of mine. I think we both really liked the gym. It's definitely smaller than any of the altitudes, but kind of a cool vibe. Everything kind of is in the same room, so you can kind of see all the climbs at once, which, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I found they definitely set more like comp style boulders, it felt, than altitude. And this is kind of case in point right here, with a really cool heel catch. Initially I thought it had to be kind of like a toe catch, and I actually saw someone do this statically, which was pretty cool. But yeah, the heel worked for me. I saw someone else try the heel beta, and it worked for him, so tried it out. You can't really see it, but where my right foot is right now, there actually is a little foot chip, so I am allowed to use that volume, or at least I'm allowed to use the part that has the foot chip on it. And yeah, this will be the last climb of the video. Just a very crimpy but super flowy problem here, foot slip. And yeah, these crimps that are on the volumes, you can kind of pinch with the other side of the volume, which felt pretty cool. And this for me was the crux right here, getting your foot as far out from that volume as possible to get the most out of the smear. and then really sinking into that right foot to be able to come in and match this. Well, I guess not match, but get my hand on this second crimp at the top, the second blocked crimp. And yeah, very cool. Guess kind of a Gaston towards the top. But that'll pretty much wrap this one up. In terms of my injury, basically at the end of my session, it probably would have been the last climb in my session. I hop on this V5, I send it. I do a controlled fall off the wall, as I've done hundreds of times before. And I don't know if it was something. I mean, the mats were definitely softer than I was used to at this new gym. So I don't know if that factored in, but yeah, basically jumped from the top of the wall, and my right ankle rolls over to the right, and immediately I hear like this loud pop, and yeah, knew something was off. I mean, the employee at the front desk heard it from all the way across the gym, and it's not a huge gym, but yeah, he came right over to me, got some ice on it. He made sure that I took my climbing shoe off, which I don't know if I would have had the foresight to do in the moment, but cheers to you, Eli, for helping me, and yeah, just being kind of a reassuring presence in the moment. I went and got it checked out today, and from the sounds of it, it's a ligament sprain on both sides of my ankle, which I don't fully know what that means, but it sounds like kind of 3 week to a month recovery, which is not ideal, but I think it could have been a lot worse. X-ray didn't really show any breakage, so that's definitely reassuring. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. Injuries always do. But we know what we sign up for when we do when we play any kind of sport. So just really looking forward to getting back to the gym. I'm hoping to do some fingerboard training at home when it's safe to do so. And maybe I'll document some of that on the channel. But yeah, it'll probably be a minute before I touch base again. So thanks again to anyone that's watching these, and hope it's not too long before I see you guys again. All right, take care.